Hello there my fellow Holotable heroes, and welcome to another Conquest video guide. Now in this one I want to talk about what's new for Conquest 13, then talk about all those important data disks, because there are some new ones that CG has introduced, and finally I want to cover all the feats, so global, sector and boss feats that CG has prepared for us. I added all of those onto my SWGOH tool, so if you're interested in that, there'll be a link in the description below to the guide that I'll be showing you later in the video. But now let's just first go through some of the Conquest related news from the forum update that was posted yesterday on the official SWGOH forums. You've probably seen this already, so the new Conquest reward is a brand new TIE Interceptor prototype. I won't go too much in detail about this ship because, you know, there have been lots of videos covering already what's happening with the kit about this ship. I just want to give you my initial thoughts. Obviously, initial one was like, really? Is that it? Another Empire ship? Why? You know, don't get me wrong, as you probably know from watching my channel, I do love my ships. I'm always happy to try out new ships when they come. However, I would much prefer a new Rebel ship or a new Resistance ship that can help us there in the light side geo territory battles, because, you know, they're in phase 2, 3 and 4. We've got double fleet missions. One of them is always Galactic Republic, and then, you know, Home 1 and Raddus, under, you know, good RNG in certain circumstances, they can get it done, but we definitely need a second reliable fleet from light side GOTB instead of all the dark side ships we've been getting lately with Executor and now as well a TIE Interceptor. But just want to, before I move on to the next point, you know, no need to get too down about it actually, because remember, it'll take us 3 months to get this ship to 7 stars through the Conquest, and with these 3 months, who knows what's going to happen, right? Because remember, Razor Crest started off just, you know, as a reward for Conquest. We were like, okay, you know, it's kind of a neat ship, but didn't really do much. And a few months later, it was requirement for the Executor. Now, the Interceptor's got some synergy there, obviously mostly with the Empire Inquisitors, but they're also mentioning Sith as well in some of the ability descriptions. And there was this whole rumors going around that Ravager, so that's the capital ship from Darth Nihilus, is coming to the game, so I can quite see this down the road being as one of the requirements to unlock the Ravager, which potentially then will rival Executor for the spot at the top of meta fleet. So definitely, you know, I would still recommend go through the Conquest, try to get this ship to 7 stars in these 3 months, because I'm pretty sure it will lead to something very, very important further down the road, the same way as Razor Crest did. Hey, it is great, but please CG, please, give us some light side ships so we can finally start knocking out with ease those double GOTB fleet missions in phase 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so moving on, they also added some sort of descriptor in the modifier tab to provide us some more information about the special path, because as you know, you're playing through, you're not really unless you know where that special path is, you can kind of quickly get lost. So definitely some sort of extra information. We'll see how that actually is presented to us in the game. And there were a couple of small fixes here for the Conquest. So they fixed an issue with the odds modifier. I didn't even realize there were some issues with the thermal detonators, and they also fixed the vitality data disks. Okay, so yeah, I remember a lot of people saying they're having issues that the mark didn't apply correctly to the strongest allies. So looks like there were some issues with interaction with vitality data disk. So hopefully they finally fixed now a voluntary vanguard, because I think they already mentioned before they did, but still wasn't working properly. So I go from CG side in terms of new things, you know, apart from the new unit, there isn't a whole lot of new information available. They of course removed probably a lot of data disks, you know, all those Amplify, Agony, Volatile Accelerator. I'm pretty sure all those are gone, and because they're from the data mine, which will obviously refer a lot in this video going forward, there were some new data disks coming up. And speaking of data disks, let's now hop over to my Conquest tool on my SWGOH website. Again, link will be in the description below. If you're familiar with it, you probably know how this works, but here in the video guides tab, As I'm playing through sectors, I'll be adding all the kind of video guides there for different feats, boss battles, and things like that. At the moment, just coming soon. So as soon as, Conquest hits, I'll start testing. And after a day or so, you can expect some guides coming up. And at the bottom, obviously, you have some of the previous guides, but, I don't think they'll be that useful this time, because the experience will change a lot this time. Moving on, I do also have daily plan. Again, many of you are familiar with it. At the moment it is under construction because the feeds were just launched yesterday, so today I was busy putting the feeds guide together, and as well the disc list as well. And I'll work over this Conquest daily plan over the weekend, so by the time Conquest goes live on Monday, daily plan will be up and live as well. So we'll come back to the feeds later. Let's just talk about discs as mentioned. So CG introduced a whole new set of discs here for us. So they're all about kind of critical, when you do critical hits, you're getting bonuses, right? So obviously I don't have graphics for those yet. So for the old ones, I do have graphics. For these new ones, as soon as I come across them in the game, I'll take a screenshot and put some nice image in there. But for now, we just have text. Now what's new in this Conquest is that there will be certain discs that you will get via a reward for completing certain feats, which I'll point out once we get to the feats. Now it's not clear whether these two, critical over and massively overpowered, you will just be able to get them as a reward for the global feats, and or they will also just kind of appear randomly on the map. We don't know yet. If they don't randomly appear for the map, you will most likely want to complete those global feats because in Sector 1 there are 2 feats that require these 2 data discs to be completed. So that's right, 2 feats, which 14 key cards each, will be locked behind the data disk. So it's just something you have to definitely take account for when you're calculating what feats do I need to do. So the critical over, that's a brand new disc. So after an ally scores critical hit 5 times, they will gain critical over effect for 1 turn. So this effect will give them 100% critical chance and critical damage, and also remove 100% turn meter from target. So definitely, quite a powerful here effect. Can boost your damage as well as remove turn meter. And massively overpowered, again, this is not a new disc. We've had it before. So anytime you gain 10 buffs, then on the next time you get a turn, you deal massive damage to target enemy. And now the core discs have been updated. So before we had all these debuff disc and volatile accelerator and amplify agonies and things like that. So this time we're getting everything around critical hits. So definitely these two, the stacking defiance or critical formation, I think will be priority disc, because stacking defiance, whenever you score a critical hit, all allies gain 5% offense. So you'll be quickly started stacking up offense here. And then critical formation, critical support. So these are similar like, those attack out of turn discs where we were recovering protection health whenever we attack out of turn. Here, whenever you score a critical hit, everybody will recover protection and health. So you can already see this has potential to, be quite conquest breaking with the right teams that do a lot of critical hits like CLS and stuff. You can imagine once CLS starts going, things will go out of control very, very quickly. And finally, DK critical turn meter. So you will be removed turn meter whenever you deal damage. So these turn meter removal are kind of nice, but I've been avoiding them lately because then you can get stuck behind nest or something like that, right? You just can't take them out. But sometimes turn meter removal can come in handy. And support disc, they didn't really change from last time. We got Zealous Ambition, Voluntary Vanguard, and Vitality, assuming at least Vitality and Voluntary Vanguard, they've been fixed, so they for sure will be present, assuming Zealous Ambitions will be there as well. So we'll see what other discs will still be available, because CG did not post a full list of data discs, just kind of we got new ones from the data mine over from SWGOH Events Discord server. So with data discs out of the way, let's now go over the feats. Now this again is all based on the data from SWGOH Events Discord server. I'll link in the description below. These guys are absolutely amazing. They provide all kinds of information advanced to us whenever they're available in game. So thank you guys so much for all your amazing work. So let's just go first now through all the feats, starting with global feats. Now Grand Victory, this one you have to defeat 500 enemies, and you know, you can use cup to do that, right? Doesn't really matter, you know, this will just happen as you're playing through. Then we've got light side here, same thing, 15 key cards. You have to win 50 battles with light side units. So just some, you know, suggested teams you can use here, non-Galactic Legends suggested teams that will help you along the way. Same thing for dark side, you have to win 50 battles with a full squad of dark side. Again, just, you know, some suggestions, but you know, this light side, dark side feats are quite open, you just use whatever you've got. Remember those Boba and Han and Boba and Fennec feats? Well, Boba is back with another feat, but this time he's pairing up with Mando. So you have to win 20 battles with Boba and Mando in your squad. So, you know, you can go down kind of multiple routes here. You know, you could put some sort of bounty hunter squad together. It's probably the most obvious one. And then we've got Scoundrels, they're both Scoundrels, right? And then obviously Mando is a Mandalorian, so maybe Boba can just tag along under Maul lead and Mandalorians maybe. Again, it depends, you know, on the data disk that we're having and opponents and things like that. Farm Boy and Old Ben. Yes, you have to win 20 battles with Luke, Farm Boy and Old Ben in your squad. So, you know, probably just gonna tag along a CLS team, I guess, especially with all those data disks we talked about earlier with critical hits and things like that. And yes, this is now the first time ever in the Conquest. You only get one key card for completing this feat, but you do get critical over a disc as well as a reward. And this will be needed for Sector 1 feat. So I'm pretty sure these we will have to do because those Sector 1 feats, they get 14 key cards each. The only question is this critical over disc actually available randomly on the map, or is it only available here? Well, I guess we'll find out. And moving on to the next one, another one, there we go. So for this one you will get again only one key card, but you do get massively overpowered. So for this one you have to defeat 100 enemies with Darth Vader and Jedi Knight Luke. So, you know, any sort of for Conquest I do like to use Molly just because of extra 20% per meter you get for Sith allies, especially as you're progressing towards, you know, further down the sectors, enemies are faster and faster. But any sort of Sith or Empire team, you know, with Vader, like just Vader, do what Vader does. And then for Luke, again, you know, Jedi team, they're very solid with Jedi Knight Luke lead. Just try to time hits with Jedi Knight Luke. So hopefully this shouldn't be too hard as well to get it done. And finally, check these guys out. You have to win 250 battles. Think about that. And apparently, obviously we'll see, but according to guys over from SWG Events, reward for this is deployable cooling system. That's pretty nice, because obviously this is the holy grail of all the data disks that we've ever had. But in order to get it, you have to win 250 battles. Now that's a lot of battles, right? And by the time you do 250 battles, you will basically be complete with all the feats more or less anyways. So it's kind of interesting that you get it right at the end, but at the same time, as you will see in some of the sectors, we have very difficult boss battles. So if you do not have the right, you know, Galactic Legends or the right data disk, I think will be very hard to complete those feats versus those bosses. And this is where maybe the deployable cooling system will help those players that don't have all Galactic Legends to get that knocked out in the end. So definitely these free last feats, although they look, you know, kind of only, you know, one key card here, one key card there, it's really the data disks that will help you to complete the other feats on the holotable. So that's kind of the new approach that CG has been testing out. We'll obviously see how it goes. So let's just continue with other feats now. Sector 1 feats. I won't go too much into detail because it's going to be too long video. We're just going to go through just that you can see what we have. Obviously, you got the bounty hunters, defeat 50 enemies with bounty hunters. So any sort of, you know, bounty hunter lineup. Obviously, you will probably want to do anything with Boba and Mando just also to work towards that global feat there for Boba and Mando. We've got no tanks. I mean, that should be straightforward. Win 5 battles with no tanks in your squad. I've just suggested here a few teams that can do that, and then as well complete some of the other feats that we do have here in Sector 1. There we go. And then moving on, Foresight. You have to gain Foresight 60 times. So, you know, anything with 2 Yodas will get you knocked out this very quickly. Then you've got also Rey, BB-8, R2. They all have, you know, some sort of way of adding Foresight. And then Bad Batch as well. I think it's Tech. On his AoE, he applies Foresight on all Bad Batch allies. Moving on, Blind. Attempt to flick Blind 40 times. Obviously, your main source here will be 3PO and Chewie, because, you know, he's got AoE Blind. So you'll just probably want to get that done as many times as you can. And then Luke, you know, he can do it on his basic, but that maybe you'll just get once or sorry, in his special ability. So maybe once or twice per battle over there. We're coming now to mini boss battle versus Dash, L3, Vander, Chewie, Kira, and Young Han. I'm assuming this is not Omicron Dash, right? Because that only works in Grand Arena, not Conquest, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So for this one, we need surviving. I don't know, we'll see. I just for fun put, you know, just gonna have to put like a strong team of 4 and then just put Ura there. Now the reason why I put troopers, because obviously my Ura is low gear, and if these guys get AoEs going, they could potentially defeat him. But with troopers, as soon as you get your turn meter train roll, an enemy never gets a turn anyways. So I think this could be a safe option to go for. And then you do have to win with 3 Jawas. I don't know. You just put 2 strong characters and Jawas, and hopefully they can carry versus these Dash guys. Maybe Darth Revan and Mala can do it. We'll have to wait and see who we're gonna use there with 3 Jawas. If you got Rey, you know, just use Rey. I think that should be straightforward. Moving on to the final boss battle versus Jedi Revan, Yoda, Old Ben, Jolie, and Bastila. So it's kind of a more or less standard Jedi Revan team. You do have to have a Mando surviving. So again, we could do some sort of a bounty hunter squad there. And no bounty hunters, probably just throw CLS in there, get blind a few times, and that should be that. Now, these are the 2 feats, remember? Going back to the global feats, you have to gain critical over 20 times, and to do this, you need to get critical over data disk. And look at this, you get 14 key cards, so a very valuable feat. Same thing for massively overpowered, you have to gain massively overpowered 20 times. Again, you will need that data disk as well, and it's 14 key cards each. And just some couple of suggestions for these that you can get it done after you obtain those discs, that is. Moving on to Sector 2, Flawless Victory. Well, win at least 20 battles without losing any units. So, you know, just a few suggestions here again that can complete some of the other feats here in Sector 2, as well as global feats. We've got Imperial Troopers. Hey, for those of you that have Iden, maybe we got 2 Imperial Troopers squads now that can get the job done here, not just 1. If you're like me, you'll probably just be running 1, and that will be that. Got health still up, so a few ways to do this with bounty hunters. So with Grief on his mass assist, if that ability defeats an enemy, everybody gain health still up. Then Visas, she's got a special ability that grants health still up to all your guys. And then also Pulps on his ability, you know, that steals a little bit health from everybody, also grants health steal to allies. So got, you know, 3 characters here that can get health steal up quite quickly spread across your guys. Defense up, you know this one, it's been around for a while. Clone Wars Chewie lead, and just, you know, 4 tanky characters. You don't even have to win the battle, and that'll get done. And then moving on to mini boss. So this is versus Treya, Sith Empire Trooper, Nihilus, Talon, and Sion. It's gonna be your Sith Triumvirate now with Talon squad. You have to have Captain Han surviving, obviously, probably just tag along the standard CLS team, and no rebels. Like, you know, troopers under normal circumstances, they can take care of Treya easy, so I would imagine this will be the same here as well. And then we move on onto the final boss versus Grievous, Dredeka, B1, B2, and Magna Guard. And we have to have Veers and Snow Troopers surviving. I'm not sure the standard trooper lineup work versus Grievous or not, I'm not sure. I know that Vader, before he got nerfed with and weapon tech as well, we were able to get it done with Pulp and Vader. You can just kind of one-shot Grievous. I'm hoping that maybe, you know, with the right data disk set, you'll be able to just kind of one-shot their Grievous from beginning. and this will allow then obviously a snowtrooper and Veers to survive in theory. And then no Empire, I mean Night Sisters, they're great counter versus Grievous, but to be honest, you can use anything you like as long as it does not include Empire units. So moving now on to Sector 3 already. Droids, there you go, for a brand new feat. It's been a while since we had anything with droids in Conquest, I think, if ever. Defeat 50 enemy units with droids. Obviously you can take Rey Jedi Training, the Queen of Droids, you can take BB-8, R2, 3PO, and as well 3PO and Chewie, and you know, hopefully you can then get some of the other feats knocked out at the same time, or you can go down the General Grievous route with his band of, you know, separatist droids as well. We got the Jedi. You have to win 14 battles with a full Jedi team, you know, whatever Jedi you've got. Obviously if you do include Jedi Master Luke, Jedi Master Kenobi, you'll have lots of options, but otherwise some sort of Revan Jedi Knight Luke team will probably be your bet here. Evasion, evade at least 100 times in battle you won. Now there are probably two sources here for evasion, so again you can use here Bad Batch, because they get evasion up. I think they get as well foresight, so hopefully you can evade some attacks, and obviously both Yodas there give you foresight, so you can then evade some attacks as well. Critical hits, I mean, score 200 critical hits, you know, with whatever team you've got. Just here again suggested a couple of teams here that can work towards Boba and Mando global feat, and as well remember we have to start knocking these Farm Boy and Ben feat at some point as well. Moving on to mini boss, so we got Battle versus Mothma, Pao, Kara, Biggs, and Kyle. So a little bit, you know, not the best Mon Mothma team there, but they still have Pao, Kara, and Kyle in there. Luckily, no House Scouts, right? So you have to win with Duke and Newt, right? Dooku and Newt. So probably, you know, just General Grievous is a great counter to Mon Mothma anyway, so that should work, I hope. And then no Separatists, again, you know, something with Vader to start to work towards the global Vader feat. That I think should work fine as well. It all depends obviously on the speed of the enemies now, because we're in Sector 3 already, so they might be very quick, but we'll have to wait and see. And then final boss, it's versus Darth Revan team here. Just a standard really Darth Revan team, as you can see. And you have to win with Anakin and Kenobi surviving. I guess, you know, if you don't have Galactic Legends, I guess Padme still maybe could still work. We'll have to wait and see, I guess, once we come to testing. If you have Commander Ahsoka Tano, I guess she would be great in here as well. And you have to win with a full squad of clone troopers. I'm not sure about this one. I've never seen clone troopers taking down a Darth Revan team under normal circumstances, but this is Conquest. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get something done either with Bad Batch or 501st. So watch this space. Alright, Sector 4. Clone troopers, defeat 50 enemies with clone troopers. So depending what trooper you've got, obviously either 501st or Bad Batch, they should be able to get things done because both teams are quite solid. Then we have Sith here, where you have to win 14 battles with a full squad of Sith units. Again, suggesting more lead if you do have them, just because of the stealth feat in this sector as well. Otherwise, obviously, you know, Darth Revan there will work well, or if you do have Lord Vader, obviously, or Sith Eternal. We got stealth, so you have to gain stealth 40 times. I mean, these are probably two teams that, you know, you'll get stealth the quickest, more lead, and then as well, all the Bad Batch guys have some sort of abilities to grant stealth and things like that. So you should be able to knock out these very quickly with these guys. We got ability blocks. We have to attempt to inflict ability block 40 times. Again, going back to that more lead that you can knock out stealth and ability blocks at the same time. Remember, Vader will be taking so many turns because of Merciless, and his basic can apply ability block. Trez special attack applies ability block as well. Malak is there, you know, just for being Malak, and Basti's basic as well can apply ability blocks. Maybe some sort of fun Director Krennic team squad, because whenever Empire, under his leadership, whenever Empire units critically hit a debuffed enemy, they will land ability block on them. So imagine this, Vader doing a Force Crush, everybody's debuffed, he goes into Merciless, critically hitting everybody, does another Force Crush. Imagine how many ability blocks that will be just from Vader's Merciless alone. And then we've got here Geos as well, obviously they attack so many times, all these assists, and Poggle, whenever he assists, his basic deals ability block as well, so potentially Geos could get this feat knocked out in a single battle. Okay, so let's move on to the mini boss now. So we go versus Starkiller. Oh boy, I've never faced Starkiller before anywhere. Some of my opponents had him in Grand Arena, but they all kept him for attack. Old Ben, Vader, Mara, Visas, and Starkiller. So you have to win with Clone Chargers surviving. I guess there are different things, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. Can a full clone lineup beat him, or maybe Padme and he's just the last one? Again, we'll have to test when things comes out. And then we have to defeat 3 enemies in the same turn. As you probably know, this is kind of my favorite thing with Vader lead and what. You stack up dots and then what just uses his special ability and all the enemies just disappear from the battle. And the final boss here versus Lord Vader. Yeah, that Lord Vader. So Galactic Legend bosses are back in Conquest 13. Lord Vader, Roller Guard, Vader, Piet, and Maul. Wow, Piet is an absolute menace. So for now, I just put here 2 Galactic Legends to get this done. But again, maybe with all those you know, discs, data discs that we'll be collecting along the way, you know, maybe this should be possible with non-Galactic Legend. We'll see. Lord Vader, you know, is a tough cookie to take down, especially with Piet in there. So we'll have to wait and see. And that's where I said that, you know, that feat where you have to win 250 battles that grants you deployable cooling system data, this apparently might come in handy for these last 2 final boss battles, because you know, if you do not have the right maybe Galactic Legend, maybe it won't be possible to complete. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. So you have to mark 5 enemies. Obviously we take in here Jedi with Revan, and then you have to have a 200k hit at least, and obviously Commander Ahsoka Tano, just stack her damage, and you know, hopefully she can knock somebody out for a big hit. Definitely, this will be very interesting. Moving on to Sector 5 now. Old Republic, hey, welcome guys. You have to defeat 50 enemies with Old Republic. So obviously you got Jedi Revan, Basti, Jolie, Canderous, and then a slot in there, Zalbar as well, because he can apply Armor Shred, and in this Sector 5 we do have the Armor Shred feat as well. If you have Jedi Master Luke, you could do something like this, obviously with Watt, and then the Old Republic trio, and you know, they should take out some guys as well. I think we've got Galactic Republic, so in this one you have to win 14 battles with Galactic Republic. Lots of options there. You got Padme, John Skywalker, clones, Jedi Master Kenobi, obviously we do have them, so hopefully this shouldn't be too difficult. We got Armor Shred, so we had this Armor Shred before, so you know, we'll kind of hark back to those teams that we were using then. Like if you go down the Bounty Hunter route, Fennec there, she can Armor Shred. You can do, I think this was quite a popular team as well in previous Conquest runs, CLS with Sabine, or kind of mishmash team. That's what I was doing. Rey, Sabine, Zalbar, all 4 of these guys can apply Armor Shred. And obviously we do have as well Gideon, he can Armor Shred also. Evasion Down is making a return again, so you got really 2 big sources of evasion down. So Zam, she's got an AoE evasion down, and then for Chewie, you know, he's just doing his basic with all the assists and everything. And now we come to the boss battles. Here we go. Beskar Mando, Quill, IG, Old Boba, and Fennec. Mace surviving. Didn't we have this in the last runs of Conquest? Again, Mace is coming back, so you know, you could I went here down the Galactic Republic route just because we have to knock out Galactic Republic feats here in this particular sector, but obviously you could go down the Jedi route as well. And then you have Tarkin and Gideon surviving, you know, enormous circumstances, you know, Pal Vader, Gideon easily counter Beskar Mando, so hopefully this will be the same in Conquest. And now, final boss versus Master Kenobi, General Skywalker, General Kenobi, Yoda, and Ki-Adi-Mundi. Now luckily no Commander Ahsoka Tano in here, so definitely, you know, as you probably know, countering Master Kenobi without Commander Ahsoka Tano is possible with Padme, and as well General here Skywalker. However, remember here, no support units feat, so Padme, she support, Echo, Rex, their support. So I was thinking, well, we just use 5 of first non-support characters, and then the 5th one, maybe Commander Ahsoka Tano, if you have her. If not, you know, we'll try and figure out something else. But definitely it seems like that Lord Vader in Sector 4 could be the toughest battle if you do not have Galactic Legends. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. It was a bit of a long one, but I just wanted to go for all the feats. And as mentioned before, I'll be working over the daily plan this weekend, so by Monday evening when Conquest goes live. So will be the daily plan, so you can go ahead and follow along for those of you that you do find it helpful. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.